Hey guys, you got Ed and Becky here at Quicken Farm, and just another lovely spring day here. We're working up here in the shop, and I just want to give you guys a little disclaimer. All these animals around here, they are noisy, they're obnoxious. Just ignore them. They're having fun when they're making noise, I promise you. So what I really want to talk to you about is our cooler trailer. Let me get spun around here. We learned about this through cold chain training with West Virginia State University Extension Service. So I want to start up here in the front where all the action first starts and talk to you a little bit about what we have and how we have it set up. We got a 6x10 cargo trailer. It's just a box when we got it. It had nothing. It wasn't finished inside, anything like that. And what we did was we used the Coolbot that they had given us. That is the main drive of our cooler trailer. It runs our air conditioner. You can see it up here. It's an Arctic King 12,000 BTU, and we use a generator to power it. We just got a little hole drilled through the front here to run inside for our air conditioner. We went with the flat fronted trailer. It's something you need to think about if you're going to do your own. There is a V-nose trailer. Those are really hard to get a hole cut into and get your air conditioner set correctly, because your air conditioner actually has to tilt down in the front. You can see it's got a little tilt there because your water needs to drain out. And what we did, we stepped it up a little bit and we just drilled a hole in there just to make sure that we had enough drainage. Because if not, you do collect moisture inside. Moisture has been our biggest problem. And you want to make sure you get all of that out that you can. So don't be afraid. Knock yourself a hole in that shroud right there and make sure that it is set back. So I'm going to walk you along here. You can see we do have a side door on our trailer. We did not continue that on the inside. You can see it's actually bolted shut there. It's not something that we needed, but most trailers do come with a side door. So keep that in mind if you're building your own, whether you want to have that door be an access once you've insulated or not. For us, it was just easier, more cost efficient to not deal with a secondary door. So back here, you can see we've got almost everything finished. We've had the inside finished for a while, but we needed to finish our doors. You can see we're working on those today. And what we've got here is a little greater than 6, almost 7 inches worth of insulation. You can see how thick this floor is here. That's all rigid foam. And we've got linoleum that we laid down on top. It's a piece of plywood and then linoleum, just for some rigidity, because what we haul are hogs. We bring back 3 to 5 hogs every week. And when those things are nice and heavy, they throw them up in there. You're definitely going to need rigidity, especially if what you're hauling you need to walk or stand in your trailer. You're not going to want to dent that foam up. The sides and the ceiling here, you can see, is all glass board. It's just like what you would find in a slaughterhouse. So it's easily cleaned and sterilized. You can see our unit in the front there. There's our air conditioner. And there's our Coolbot right there. That's the brains of the operation. You can see it's super easy to set up. Our wires are a little messy. We didn't tape them up or anything like that, because honestly, we're not in the front of our trailer. Most all of our hauling occurs a little closer to the back here. It's a 10-foot. We're not hauling hogs that are 10 foot. So you can see what we got here. On our screws, we used mason jar lids as washers. You can buy the washers that are for this glass board or for the foam itself, but they are ridiculously expensive, and mason jar lids are not, and you can find them most everywhere. And that's pretty much what you see here on the inside. We have aluminum angle that we used on the back corners and the bottom corners here. Don't mind the towel in the crate. Like I said, we're still working on the door. And the reason we put it only on the bottom and those back corners there is because we wanted the corners in the front to help with rigidity, because we did have a round nose trailer. We actually framed it in to make it a flat wall, so we didn't have to worry about curving our insulation or our glass board, and it gave some support to our air conditioner. And we put it on the bottom here because that's where you get your wear and tear when you're throwing in hogs. So I'm going to bring you over here. This is the door that we're working on now. And you can see we got quite the setup here. This here is super professional. We're holding our beadboard on. It's already got the foam on it. And what we're doing is, you can see we're putting the beadboard around where we insulated the door, because the door is now about 7 inches thick. So we've just got a few boards and the crates here holding it up until the liquid nail sets, and then we can put the final sheet on over this foam. Now this foam, it's rigid foam. We could have went with a roll-in. Really wasn't our thing. We were worried about fibers that may get loose, that may contaminate anything that we were hauling. And just for ease of handling, a rigid foam was so much easier than to even contemplate doing a rolled insulation. And what we have here is actually, it's been used, it's been repurposed. This was on a roof of a huge warehouse, and when they tore it down, they saved the foam. So we got it pretty good price, and it gives us excellent R value. We're at 37 R, so superior to almost any kind of roll-in insulation that you can find. So we're going to go ahead and do our other door here today. You can see we got it prepped, and there's the dog. He's super helpful as always. We went ahead and painted around where the foam is not going to be, just to give some added protection to the wood and our door, because there is moisture. Regardless of what you're hauling, you're always going to have moisture, and we just wanted to try and head that off. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to set you down and get it set up, and we're going to show you how we put the foam on and what we do to get it insulated. Okay, hold on. Okay, so we took our foam and we sandwiched together some pieces here. You can see there's a couple of joints in it. That's something really important to touch on. Never line your joints up, because every joint is a potential loss for your R value. So make sure if you have joints that your joints are staggered. And you can see we're just kind of spot screwing it on here, because the final screws will be to hold on the last sheet of the beadboard. I'm going to pull that out for a second, show them just how big that screw is. Y'all will not believe how much money you're going to have in screws. But there they are, almost 6 inches worth of screw there. And you can see they're not going to grab on much, but you don't want them to come through your door. That's it, just enough to hold your foam on there. And you can see we got some cracks here. Our sawyer was a little off here. I'm not going to name any names, like, you know, myself, but if you have cracks like that, that's what great foam is for. It is going to be your best friend to fill in any of these joints, any of these cracks, things that don't line up just so. And keep in mind, this stuff, you can measure it and cut it and measure it and cut it. Everything has its own little idiosyncrasies, and the great stuff about this foam is a pocket knife will clean it right up. It'll straighten up your edges. It'll take off that little bit that you missed. Pocket knife is the great adjuster of all on something like this. So while we let the great foam work on the other door, filling in our cracks, we're going to come over here to the door that we were letting the glue set for our beadboard. And you can see we've started the front sheet, and behind it here we've got a little bit more adhesive just to make sure there's a good seal on there, and we just screw it right in. Now these guys, we did not use the cannon jar lids, because apparently right now those are kind of like gold. So we're using washers. And we just went ahead, and while we were waiting, we went ahead and painted those white, just so it's a good blend with the door. You want to keep everything kind of looking nice and neat, the best you can. You know, appearances, I mean a lot when you're dealing with food. So we're going to get these screwed in here. Yeah. Yep, 3 more to get her on here. And there you go. Let me step back here. Ta-da! There's the finished inside of your door. So that's 1 door down, 1 to go. Okay, so you can see it's getting dark now. We've been here a while. These things always take longer than you think. So give yourself plenty of time. Do not rush it. Just want to show you one last thing on the door here. You can see where we had some cracks before. If you look real close, you can see I went over the seams on all these corners, top, bottom, and sides, to make sure whenever it was some Gorilla Tape, it's a super wide Gorilla Tape, just to make sure that those edges were sealed up. We could have used a plastic, like a corner molding, but that just adds so much space. It's expensive. It's brittle. A good roll of tape, man, you can do amazing things with it, like sealing up your corners. So you can see that door's completely finished. This guy here, he's going to hang out tonight. We're just going to let the rest of his glue set up, and the grate foam, you can see it's doing its thing. It's expanded up out of there. So once that's all set, we can saw it off smooth tomorrow and get the beadboard up on it. So I'm going to switch over now to the man who's usually driving this thing, and he's going to talk to you about all of our stickers and the amazingness that we found for the side here.
Hey everybody, I'm just here to bore you with some numbers. First and foremost, I want to tell you a little bit about the cost, because ultimately at the end of the day, it's all about what it costs. I wrote it here on the side of the trailer. The trailer cost us $2,200. We bought it new. The generator we got at Walmart was $375. The air conditioning we got at Walmart as well, $400. Waited for it to go on sale. The foam was reused, so we got it at $300. We actually got a stack and a half of it, but it was two thicknesses, so we used about 16 sheets. The beadboard was $32 a sheet, and we used 8 sheets of it for $256. The screws were really expensive. They're hard to find, but we used about 6 pounds of 6-inch, $48, and 2 pounds of 8-inch at about $9 a pound, $18. Great foam. We use the heck out of it. $4 a can, about 16 cans for $64. Plywood was 5/8 marine grade. Do yourself a favor. Make sure you spend the extra money and buy pressure treated plywood. $75 for 2 sheets. The floor covering was linoleum. We really liked the black and white. It was a traditional color. So it was a little expensive. It was $35. Miscellaneous, be the Gorilla Glue, whichever. So for a grand total of about $3,971. Except for I forgot one thing. Let's scratch that out. And we also need some adult beverages. That makes this job go much better. So you'll have about $4,000 in this situation. So, and then as Becky was saying, this thing, you should view your trailer as a rolling billboard. We pimp everybody. We pimp ourselves, of course, on the back. Great people that we deal with at the Farmer's Daughter, Wardensville. Just every sticker we can find. We've got ones from over in Maine on the other side. We use this like a suitcase. Everywhere we've been, anybody involved in meat, we put their sticker on there. Makes it well known. And then at the end of the day, we've got to say thank you. First and foremost, thank you to West Virginia State University. This was a great program that you all put on. Coolbot was fantastic for donating that thing. That did it, that was a deal breaker for us. It was great. Miss Annette Erickson, you are Wonder Woman. You're the bomb. She put up with a bunch of us old farmers in a classroom for about 6 hours, and we didn't drive her too nuts. West Virginia Department of Agriculture, Nate and Tina, thank you so much. You guys are the gears that's driving this crazy machine. You get us all together. And Christy Martin, she's a silent but smiley one. Every place we've been, she's always there and asking how things are going. Just can't thank you all enough. This has been just such instrumental in our whole business. We now travel, it's 89 miles from right here at the farm to the processing plant. We've done it last summer, even without the doors done. It was 100 degrees outside. Coolbot, when we got to Hagerstown, Coolbot was sitting at a nice 34 degrees. So hog carcasses in, fly down the interstate, don't have to worry about getting stopped in traffic or something happen. You have that sense of insurance. You have that professionalism. We're now starting to use this on just a on-farm sales. We sell meat on 2 days a week right now, and we put our frozen product in milk crates in here, slide it around. We keep it cool. It keeps the integrity of the product, and we definitely don't break the cold chain. Few things that might change. I would really like to see, and one day we'll come up with an area to put a spare tire. Travel a lot of miles, definitely don't want stuck without a spare. And one other thing, as Becky said before, keeping the tongue low is very imperative for drainage. So we've been through 2 different jacks. This was a jack that we got at Tractor Supply. It cranks up, and you pull this, that whole jack will come all the way up. So you can run like a 4-inch drop hitch. You keep your trailer nice and level, makes loading height, nice and desirable, and it keeps that AC from draining. It keeps it draining. So, hope we didn't bore you all too much. Thank you for coming to our dirty shop. And we've got some work to do, still got chores to do, and try to get this booger finished up tomorrow. Thanks again, and enjoy, and stay safe.